Welcome, fellas. Welcome to All in All United. Your boys Reem, Nico, and we have Fire Marshal, and I see add coach.
Yeah, man.
To his name tonight. Guys. Another day at the office. Another reason, to add some frustration. The life of a Man United fan is not a good one right now. And I mean, I know at the end of the day, the 3 points is what matters, and we've seen so many times in the past how important 3 points, you could play poorly and still get the win. But I find, we're leaving a lot to be desired in terms of our performances. We were dominated by average. Well, when I say not in terms of the performance today, but by the standards and history, Brighton, Hove and Albion is an average team, y'all, a mid-table, lower-end team, and teams are just coming and dictating Manchester United. And it's becoming very, very frustrating to sit down and watch a team concede a possession, concede chances. We can string 2 or 3 passes together, fellas, to really impose anything on the game. And it's becoming very, very frustrating. So to the point where I had a question, what it is all you really doing? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me just get this one comment and then the fellas will get into the mix. Richard, nice. I like how you invite early. He said, I guess people to drink beer off him after these matches.
Richard, I had a drink already, since today I drinking it because pressure was.
But I don't know why man you just do that. Fellas, let me open the floor. Let me start to get talking about this thing. What's going on?
Yeah, boy, I feel, you see like how we feel against Sevilla. I'm sure that's how Brighton feel today. Because against Sevilla, we hit the post so much times, we dominate the game, and Sevilla come out on top. And today, definitely, I think that's how Brighton would have felt. Brighton, I mean, for majority of the game, they would have dominated the game. They hit the crossbar about 6 times. Crossbar in total around 6 times. Definitely, I felt it for them in a way. Yes, as a man, it's just a United fan, you're always glad to get the victory, and even the manner that we got the victory today. But as you would have said, Reams, a lot to be desired. We just not playing with that hunger. Still, I know you guys said last game that match fitness shouldn't be an issue. Form shouldn't be an issue at this moment. But I don't know. I don't know because even the aggression in our challenges, even the aggression in our press, you see that it's just a one-man press when before, let me say, post lockdown was a team press. You're not seeing that press. It's just one man did all the pressing. Bruno ran about 12 Ks by himself today. It was really a sight for sore eyes today, right?
And I'm telling you, you were talking about the press. I remember, so vividly at the start of last season, we were pressing in tandem. We were pressing as a unit. And now you just seen one man pressing. And that's not really making sense seeing one man running down everybody.
After he press now, right? Another man free, so that we're going to win.
Yeah, and then now, when you talk about, we aggression toward the ball, we were second best in every aspect of the game. We are with no second ball. We're not showing no kind of aggression. I find in terms of trying to win the ball off the Brighton players, we look so lazy. We look weak. They were nicking the ball off us so easy, and it was so hard to win it from them. And you're talking about Manchester United as opposed to Brighton. What's going on? Callum, talk to me.
Well, good night, everybody. I hear silent with nigga on the floor because what the phrase I want to bring to this game is men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The possession for this game was 52% in favor of Brighton. This is a bottom half team that dominated us in possession. We had 40% possession. And the man of the match today for Manchester United was Matic. When your defensive midfielder is the man of the match, when you win 3-2 and you dominate in possession, that means to say you understood what happened to your game. You were dominated in midfield. And midfield is a transition point on the field, right? Defense into attack, attack into defense. Remember last week we spoke about the 4 moments of the game, what you do in possession, what you do out of possession, and in Manchester, the 2 parts that really comes to Manchester United. Our transition, how quickly we transition from attack into the defense and defense into attack. And that was our whole game. We were way too slow, and a lot of players either didn't understand or didn't fulfill their roles today. So today, I actually going to give Oli a pass. And why I say that, listen, when try here the coaching license, we do the Dutch license, right? The B, the C, the B, so on and so forth. And when you have your players in a game scrimmage or you're going to coach them, they tell you, don't go and tell the player what the problem is. You ask them what the problem is, because at the end of the day, players are on the field and they have to do the problem solving. The coach can't be out there with them playing, right? And we would have seen basic kindergarten under 5 football mistakes, because imagine the guy with the team named Toraf or Taras or whatever for Brighton. Trossard. He hit the crossbar and the post commission 3 times. He could have, he's just 3 inches away from a hat trick today. He wasn't. And Brighton hit our post 5 times for the game. But let's talk about the 4 that came from the last post on Wan-Bissaka's side. So after that once, twice, nobody on the field and seeing that, listen, we again overwhelmed on the left-hand side, which looks sure, and the cross is coming. And in our transition game, either a combination of the person who plays wide on that side is Greenwood. Now, I'm going a little long, but just explain myself. We are playing 4-2-1-3 because our 3 attacking players are beyond our midfield, right? It's really 3 strikers we're playing with that just 2 coming from wide that we be read about, right? They are not really wingers per se. And then in our midfield, we played 1 defensive midfielder, that will be Matic. We have attacking midfielder in Bruno, and then Pogba plays a kind of floating role, because I'm assuming the role he plays, he makes the adjustment to attack and defense as the game needs, right? These are how your players to be played. So we have sorry?
Go ahead.
And we have a back 4. Now, why we do so well against the top 6 team? Because they dominate us in possession and they push us back. So our transition game from defense to attack, from attack to defense, where we weak on, doesn't really come into play, because we also need back foot. That's why we look so well on your counter attack, because we are 3 brilliant and quick attackers, as we saw in flashes of them today. But when we meet teams like Brighton and the lower half teams, that we tend to have 50-50 possession, or we dominate them in possession, when we lose it, because we are so slow in our transition from attack to defense, we have always seen to be found out. And it happens today because we see a lot of time. Bruno Fernandes was trying, he was late most of the time, but he was trying to get back. Where was Matic? Well, Matic would have been more central, so I understand him. But Pogba, the one who has the floating role, everybody see Pogba pace, he was languishing, he was strolling on the field. And then, even though we are playing with 3 strikers and we are 2 wide, Rashford and Greenwood had to do some kind of defensive work, because it was really unfair to our wing backs today, because Luke Shaw, as the league know, like Cotrichis, is one of our weak links. He is susceptible. A lot of time, and Brighton there, the outside wingers, and the wing back was getting forward on his side, on what would be their right-hand side. So Luke Shaw was outnumbered most of the time, and Pogba was getting pulled out there. And we saw now Lindelof, whether it was warranted or not warranted, he wasn't too confident in Luke Shaw's ability, so he was keep going out there, and Lindelof was going out there a lot. So Maguire was staying central. So the 2 strikers, because Brighton played with 3 strikers, but mainly 2, because one of them going wide, and the next 2 coming inside. You'll see Maguire pick up one, and then you're seeing Wan-Bissaka come and pick up the next one, and the overlapping man coming out last post. That tell we whole game. And this is where being a good footballer, Bruno recognizing the situation, he was recovering. But this is why I say Pogba, come on. Exactly what man said, I'm applauding Bruno too, because Bruno did a lot of running. Even the penalty, he came late. I also showed his lack of confidence in Luke Shaw, because Luke Shaw was a one-on-one. And Bruno sprinting back to go and help him and running to the man. And it was also naive, because why you running to the man? You supposed to want to give Luke Shaw cover. But it shows the psychology of the team, because the way we talk every week, we know Lindelof is a hazard. We don't Luke Shaw is a liability. So players covering them, you're seeing it happening now. And the goal that we consider to make it 2-2 once again. This is the whole game. We saw that the coach made some changes. He brought on Bali and took off Greenwood. So we automatically went to 5 in the back. That was to give us a little more width. But once again, Luke Shaw was being beaten all day. So even with Bali, Wan-Bissaka, the 2 stoppers, we still were outnumbered back. And once again, at that stage in the game, we had a big fear to Luke Shaw. To Bruno. Bruno can't get it back there. So I blame the players, not the coach, because the coach made the right changes. Because when he brought on that guy, they call him a Brazilian now, Fred. I still don't believe that Brazilian, but we go work with him. Fred came on, and I had to agree that was the right sub because Fred is more defensive minded than McTominay to pick up that hole in midfield to help recover. Then he took off after Fred he brought on Bali to help defense because we was 2-1 up going on in the dregs. And then he took off one of the strikers and brought on new guy, Van der Beek. All were defensive changes. So did we see any point in the captain, the stopper Maguire? You actually see him doing so, giving directions and then come back, cover. It wasn't happening. Because if we look at our great captain, Roy Keane was not a technically gifted player. He was a guy that a buster plays, but why he was one of the greatest or probably the greatest captain forever for Manchester United. He understood the game and he was what they call an on-field general. You will see him giving out instructions. Schmeichel, the father and the son, on-field generals. Did we see at any point in the game they hear shouting instructions, making any adjustments? These are so-called big players on big wages and they can't make a 5-year-old intercall simple. With Nicholas, we referee. We would see all the main players and teams shouting instructions during the game and making adjustments, and our players are not doing it. So today is not only is our players were woefully short of what we expect. When you want to be a Manchester United player and they can come up, ship out.
All right, nice.
I know that a lot about it.
Yeah, man, no problem.
A thorough and detailed analysis from the Fire Marshal. Definitely, I would concur with a lot of your analysis. Today also, as you have said, they would have loaded up on Shaw and then swing it over to the right, because at that time everybody would have shift to Shaw and then swing it to Solimatch, who lineman on that side by himself all game, right? Yes, we would be quick to maybe want to blame Wan-Bissaka, who to me was very lethargic also. To me, his pick is definitely in question, or could be in question. But also he should have gotten cover from Greenwood, right? Bruno tried. Bruno seeing that we were weak, we were being overloaded. That was the tactic from Brighton to load up on one side and swing it on the other side. It was working countless of times, and even count with the second goal, the equalizing goal that Soliman scored. Because even before that, I say, well, why this man always free? Why this man always free? Why nobody can cover this man? And then he came and scored. So definitely, as Callum Fire Marshal would have said, we had to get more cover. The subs that Oli made was at least he tried to help. If the guys on the field really understood what was happening and try to adjust the suit, as Fire Marshal would have said, even the leaders on the field should have seen and maybe shouted instructions, because Solimatch to me was free a bit too much.
Yeah. Let me get some comments in here, fellas. All right. So Richard saying, I think players need to take some notes from Bruno and Beek. They are always persistent no matter what. That's correct. And I find Pogba should have come on in the second half. Probably that would have been a good shout, I got that one already. He said, I thought that was Pogba. I thought that was Fellaini.
No, and
Fellaini always giving and so he might be more technical player.
No, but still Fellaini is not Pogba.
Callum, adjust your audio, your real soft.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Much better.
Good.
All right.
Yeah. So Pogba is not Fellaini, right? So he should not even be looking at anything close to Fellaini. You know what I mean? But today, I think Pogba was the worst player on the field. To me, he was the worst player on the field today.
Simeon saying, I don't talk bad about Pogba. They gotta find a way to get the best out of him. Shake my head.
Nah, but at least he had a show. He had a show that he trying to. I didn't
Simeon,
see.
before we move, Simeon, I want to say this to you. Pogba is supposed to be within the top echelons of players in the world. In his mind, he's supposed to be in the conversation, the top 5, top 10 players in the world. If we had to motivate him on those wages, obviously, I know the coach had to get my gene up, but if we had to be constantly depending on us to motivate him, hear what? Thanks, but no thanks. So we sell him, cash out, and get a player who would want to be holding his hand and kiss him. Oh God, Poggy, you go play today, I love her. No, sir. Pogba let me down. Time to go.
I find today look to watch I'm almost a luxury player. You know, I mean, he really had any quality at all.
I love you, can drive good. Pogba look like a 280 today.
Richard saying Pogba is my boy, but I hate to see him move slow because I know his potential.
All of us.
And Simeon saying Bruno running more KMs than anybody else. Yeah, I think Fire Marshal had mentioned that. You know, one of the things I noticed, and it's something that I've seen over time, and a question. Whenever we play teams, it would seem that teams come out with a plan, and they execute their plan very well. Now, I don't know what plan we go into games with, but we don't seem to execute our plans, to a T more times than not. And I was looking for instance, I was looking at something today. I don't know if you all noticed it. Every time Rashford or Greenwood got the ball in the wide areas, it always had 2 players and a third player waiting for any possible beat. So they always used to tighten the spaces to close them to make sure that Rashford or Greenwood always had to go back. They were not giving them spaces to go forward. And even if they would have gotten through, it always had a next man there to clean. I saw it happen against Crystal Palace as well. They very rarely saw the wide players facing up one-on-one. It always had 2 and 3 players on them.
Because our game plan is clear as day. Get the ball into our quick players, let them use their individual gifts of speed and ability, get past a player or 2, and hopefully they can link up and get a goal. We don't have intricate passing games. Now, at some points in time where you'll see Marshall and you'll see Rashford link a really beautiful 1-2.
You saw that today with the offside goal.
Exactly. And if Bruno gets a chance to get close to them, but then the 3 of them do something lovely. When Greenwood gets it, his game plan is simple. Put on his foot, get your head down, get some space, and then fly to goal. No, I'm not knocking the technique. I'm just saying it is clear as day, as you rightfully said, Reem. Teams know what we're going to do, and once they get a chance to set, because especially the lower teams, quote unquote, with lesser ability, what they do, they know what they have to find a way to make up that ability. If I are coaching a team with quote unquote lesser ability, lesser quality, I'm going to work really hard on things we can control. And we can control positioning, we can control intensity, we can control a game plan and stick to our game plan. And I'm as a Manchester United fan, I'm glad for the victory. But as a football fan and a coach, I was gutted for Brighton because they came, they executed beautifully, they stuck to their plan. They don't have the quality, because it's already quality we win with there. And I have to tip my hat up to the skipper. Defensively, he was garbage. Not so much his play, but his lack of leadership. But in attack, because the second goal, that own goal, he would have scored, and he was. Nicholas, you see the push? The first goal, he equalized.
Yes.
I don't know how we get away, but we'll take it. I should. Yeah. And then the winner 3-2. He was up for the. We got 1 corner for the game, and he made it count. So we had to applaud him.
Yeah.
And I had to say I'm glad my team, and this is the games I want to win, and the games where we go play terrible and win still. Because I always say when you play good, we go win. I ain't worried about that. But when you go play terrible and win, we gotta applaud them with all the black and thing. But
well, I think go ahead, Nico, I'll talk after.
Look, in terms of Maguire, I would have said it before. I think, and I was always hoping that this season, last season, what he would have took a bit of settling, and this season you would have seen the force in the attacking third more than last season. I think, and it even started that way. Last week, I think he was really outside. He was really lethargic. He really wasn't up for the fight. Today you saw him at least look a little sharper. He looked like he was up for the game today, and he made it count, or he made his presence felt at least twice in the attacking third during the game today.
And I think that's what we want to see from Maguire because, I mean, we've always seen him do it for Leicester. And that was one of the reasons why we bought him because we knew that he had a physical presence in the opposition box. So it's good to see, at least now, that he is able to impact to some extent in the opposition box where we could benefit from it. Going back to some of the tactical preparations teams would do and execute. Even today, and I think Nico, you had mentioned it, where we saw, the patterns that Brighton were executing, overloading the left-hand side and then switching it to the right. And even and one of the reasons why I want to fault Wan-Bissaka, because Solimarch about 3 times was free when he received the ball and had shots on goal. Now, and that happened even after Bailly came on. Now, when Bailly came on, there's an extra body in defense whereby now Wan-Bissaka could afford to pay some more attention to that fella coming late in the box. And I didn't see it happen. And even Oli, in the post-match now, spoke about it. He said, Wan-Bissaka is one willing to learn and we'll work with him. So even Oli recognized that
he didn't identify the risk, as what I said. He didn't identify the risk.
I had to be last criminal on earth. At this stage in your football career, people started telling you about what you man come in last post. If I have under 17 team, am I wing back at that stage in under 17? Can't understand. You man come in last post. If you're marking nobody inside, the 2 stoppers and pick up because unless some stoppers like to be free. And one thing I could say about Maguire, he doesn't mind marking. I don't talk about Lindelof because Lindelof is a madman as far as I'm concerned because he was getting sucked in. But Maguire must understand what's going on, man. And Maguire to take control and help Wan-Bissaka, and Wan-Bissaka himself, he had to take responsibility for his game, man. It's 100 and change pounds and players getting paid a week,
Well, that is it.
If they want to pay me £1,000 a week, I'll go out there and help them,
No, but what was the point?
The
point I was making, guys, is that what does affect me is the fact that I'm seeing teams who, as I think Callum you had mentioned, in terms of ability, they're not on our level in terms of individual player quality. But you're seeing where they're going out and they're executing a plan to a T. So I ask myself, if I have better players, right? If I have better players with individual quality, and I give them a certain game plan, and they're not executing it, is it because as a manager, I just telling them go there and play football? Is it the manager's fault? Because we had to see some semblance of a game plan. And I be honest with you, I watching us playing out. I mean, Oli, I like Oli, but I want to see the football for me evolve now to the point where you can just put 11 world-class players on a field and feel like that going to win you a game. Tactics, to the point now, it's at a level where anybody could get beat once you come out tactically prepared. So tell me, Oli really doing something?
I think, honestly, is the intensity we're playing with. I think the aggression we play with. I think what we had to try to do is win the ball higher up the field. I think that is the plan from Oli. However, I think for some reason it has not been executed. Because that is when you really saw our best football. When we attacked high, when we pressed high, won the ball higher up the field, and then with the space being allowed with the Marshall, Bruno, and Greenwood, then they could have exploited it. But the moment we started drop, for some reason, I don't know why, right? We started drop and then try to break from there, then it's not working. And Callum rightfully said, and the moment we lose the ball, right, when we go up the field, we exposed to the back because our defense, when the teams are attacking, we in a mess. We all over the place. So I think Oli has a clear plan in how he wants the team to play, but I don't think the team responding to how he wants to play because we saw it post the lockdown. So it's not that you don't know. It's not like you don't know the style and the brand of football you want to play. But if players come the game with lacking that intensity, then your whole plan out the window.
All right. So then because we saw situations where our manager not able to get his plan across to his players, and he would eventually get his sack because you can't go and sell or sack 20 something players. Guys, I'm seeing like 10 people on the inside watching. All feel free and don't forget to like the videos. Right, let me get some comments before I bring Callum inside to comment. All right. Richard saying, I believe Pogba has a lot of influence in the dressing room, and the guys look up to him as an experienced player. I think once he gives his all, the guys will gel.
I go on the bench first for that to happen.
Well, when Richard expecting Pogba to give what is Pogba there, years, not days again. Yes, I put my hand, I had enough of Pogba. Pogba has not performed the level that we need from him. So better we get rid of Pogba, get some money, get that wages, and man. But they bring Neymar. It's something funny, but at least Neymar will come and take over the team. You might not the whole way that ball in the end, but at least Neymar has personality on the foot, on the pitch. We know it's Neymar team. This is supposed to be Pogba team. Much of Bruno Fernandes come and take the team from Pogba. We listen. I have a clear vision. Manchester United is the best team in the world. I want to go back to being number one. So I want to have Messi's on my pitch. I want to have Cristiano Ronaldo's on my pitch. I want to have Neymar's. And we should be saying Pogba, but Pogba is not in the conversation right now in the world. He's in the top 20 players in the world. And not that he do have the ability, it's his performances. And if he can't get it done, all right, Pogba, I will help you pack your bags. I'll jump in the airport, kiss you for it. Parlez-vous. Speak some French, you know what I mean? Au revoir, you know what I mean? Go.
But yeah, that's right. Do you all think, because I think, Nico, you had mentioned, we saw, the execution of Oli, what Oli wants to do in terms of playing, post-lockdown. And I must admit it was a joy to watch. Do you think because I think you had mentioned it in the last review, guys, when we play Crystal Palace, do you really think that lack of pre-season attributable to what's going on right now, and that the fellas really not up to scratch in terms of the fitness levels to give us that kind of intensity, and for that high press, and the more on the kind of conserving energy to see how the game kind of mode? Is that acceptable as an excuse?
I think as human beings, it is a reason. Because even if you look at City when they played the last game against Wolves, City was hanging on. It's just in the last, just before the last carry game, Jesus scored to carry the score to 3-1. But City was hanging on. You get City 2 or 3 games down the road, and you would see a different City. So I think the team would have missed that preseason to build up that level of fitness, even as we would have said, yes, it's only 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off or a month off, right? I think to really get back to that peak fitness as a human being, right? You need competitive games. Even if you're just training on your own, that don't get you to that peak fitness, that competitive fitness. You really had to be playing games against players who pushing you to the limit now. And in training and whatever preseason we had, it couldn't give you that. So I really think that.
Because I'm asking a question. The two teams we played, Crystal Palace and Brighton, they went on a special unexplained client that we was known as something, because apparently them had a preseason and we didn't have none.
No, they had
preseason. Because
we were in the Europa League, right?
Exactly. We were playing competitively all the time, so that's why I say I'm not accepting that.
Remember we had time off while they were training. So when we played our first game, they would have already played about 4 games, and maybe 3 competitive games before they played us.
Actually, they played one competitive game before they played us.
No. They would have played in the cup game. They would have played the Premier League game before. I know that for sure.
All right, you get 2. Talk about Crystal Palace, right?
Competitive games.
Crystal Palace played a lot more games in preseason preparation.
Okay, well, check this, man.
I'm talking about competitive, not just preseason, competitive games, right? So we would have played 3 competitive games before they played us.
Well, I go back to my one point. Who are we? We are Manchester United, the best team in the world. If you want to be the best team in the world, that means you're going deep in competitions. You're playing in various competitions. You will have a tighter, tougher schedule than everybody else. And anytime you start to make it an excuse why we're losing, then you don't want to go deep in competitions. Then you don't want to be champions of Europe.
No, remember these are different. This whole pandemic, right, have everything differently. Normally, even teams that going deep in the Champions League would have had 4 to 5 weeks, right, and a proper preseason before their first competitive game. We did the only competitive game we played before coming back into the Premier League was against Aston Villa, and that was against a team that most of the players not even playing.
All right.
Games.
All right.
Have you seen Bayern play so far since they become European champions?
Come on, man. Bayern Munich
All right, guys.
They are the champions of Europe, and them playing and them killing people right now. Still, them and stop killing people.
Right, but look, PSG was in the Champions League final, and they lost about 3 games before they won the first.
Hey, World War II. Don't compare French to League One.
Fellas, let me involve the comments in we review, right? I just want to get through some of the comments here. These fellas trying to
get sorry, we gotta break up the fight sometimes.
Yeah. Richard saying here, let me put it on the screen. He's saying Lindelof should apply for linesman position, right? So I guess reading through them.
You'll be tough to that official.
Simeon saying, so what you saying is the entire backline is trash, but we play the same line every game and they don't spend to improve. Well,
but we can't say we're not spending because we're gonna spend a lot. We will record on Maguire and 50 million for Wan-Bissaka. To say we're spending, maybe what we spending on might be the question.
Yeah, Nicholas. No, we know Nicholas have his views on Maguire and so forth and so on. But I mean, to each his own, right? He's saying a little wicked, yes. Lindelof plays for 2 every game because Harry always gazing and getting left with a big tank size.
Right? But Maguire wasn't bad today.
Joshua saying Fred is a waste of time. Get rid of him.
Joshua, whoever sits back here, you win the award, sir.
Dave Daniel, welcome, bro. The Chelsea man. He said poor decision by the referee after the game lost. I know he doesn't talk about that.
It was an excellent decision, Dave. It's handball. Handball is handball.
So what are you talking about? The referee blew off the game at first, and then the game got pulled back. But that is the rules. VAR pulled back the game to the point of the instance. Because I was having a discussion on another football group. How could the referee go back and give the penalty after the game was blown off? But VAR pulled back to the point of the play, so it was pulled back. And Dave knows this. Why you study Chelsea now you lost today? Or you're lucky?
But sure.
Chelsea was no 3-0. Big Thiago Silva, they get Thiago Silva captain or kind of thing, and it's 3 this kid early.
Wait now, Thiago Silva was captain today?
Boy.
Yes.
And the captain that you see ship here?
What trouble is it? We're just saying we should.
The man lay back a ball for a quarter, blaze home pass Caballero getting the debut to the Caballero saying, why do them pass, boy? 3-0. The man laying back ball from anything pipe.
Richard saying we should really bring Christie back home and let him retire here.
I can live with that.
Because saying and replace him with who? Anyway, every time this man trash a player, they play good next game. So keep it up.
No problem. You can do that, right?
We are trashing the whole of Manchester United, the coaches, everybody. The subs, everybody. I hope you're about to put me around that.
He also saying also these were the same players that played well under Jose minus the Jose issues and lack of backing. And I get very interesting comments here, and I think we were talking about it before, and I had introduced this point that Nico commented on. Right, Junior, thanks for joining. He said football has evolved. Players' mindsets have changed compared to years ago. Tactics win games. It's very difficult to manage 22 millionaires. EPL is still the best league in the world. Games go till the final second, as proven today, and we saw it with the Man U game and the Chelsea game. And I think I had mentioned it before, guys, where I was saying, you can't just put 11 or the quote-unquote best players and expect them to win a game. If they're not tactically prepared, it's just like you're playing 5 pieces of wood out there,
I would agree. Listen, guys, that's how Callum was the best team in the world you're speaking about. Dave, let me answer Dave quickly. Dave, first thing first, Manchester United is speaking now. In order for Chelsea to have a discussion with us, or you need to grow up. You all have won something like 5 leagues. Check me 15 years winning in a row and then get back to us, right? We have won 3 Champions League, you all have won 1. Get back to me when I can win the next one. We have won a World Cup Championship, you all have none. Get back to me. So big clubs talking now, pal. We need back to Chelsea, all right? Back to the discussion for us.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I really want to say this here. I love Ole. But at this point in time, I think it's clear, even though Ole, mind you, Manchester United was the best team coming out of the pandemic break. And they were the most consistent for us to get the 3rd spot, right? But as I was saying, that 3rd spot is not what I want. I want to be champions. None of us have any illusions that, they've laughed. Yeah, none of us have any illusions that this present team or this present coach will not win the league. Sorry. So we need to do everything we can do to win the league. I think the first thing we need is to get the right coaching in, who will be able to make the right the demands of the board or get the board to make the purchases he needs to get the right players. Because let's look at Pep. We all can remember when Pep came in, this goalkeeper, Hart was number 1. England number 1. He was doing well. He just won the league with the team. They had the best defense, and he immediately got rid of him because he had a vision. And he's a big player. So I could come in and remove a big player, your championship within goalkeeper, England number 1, and get rid of it off the bat. It shows he had control of the team and he had control of the purse strings. He changed about 4 wing backs before he get the right wing back. He got rid of some stoppers, he got the right one. So he had the money to spend, he tried an error, he get through. Look at Klopp. Klopp got rid of his goalkeeper. Well, you see the goalkeepers killing them before. He bought the most expensive goalkeeper in history, and when he brought in help me on here. Alisson. Then he went and bought at the point in time world record for a defender when he went and bringing Van Dijk. Van Dijk was playing well all the time, but he wasn't the Van Dijk we know now. But he saw what he wanted, and he went and bought the players he needed, and he wanted, and he got them. So when you get the right coaching, the right coach is not just into the tactics, but the right coach has the personality for the board to trust him. And look at Anthony.
Callum, yes, let me just say something, right? Now, I realize a lot of different clubs and the owners, it's different from Man United owners. I think Man United owners is an anomaly, boy, because you're telling me Van Gaal and Mourinho, they couldn't convince the board to support them beyond the 2nd season. You know,
but they can't see Mourinho because everywhere.
No. Yeah, but the clubs where Mourinho went, where he saw success, is when the board really and truly fully backed him. Because you think about Pep. You talk about Pep going through about 3 or 4 players before he finds the wing backs that he was comfortable with. Man, you're not giving you that kind of leeway. You had to buy one, and if you buy one, them going to sell. Hey, here we're going to give you money for one already. Where you want next one for? So the problem with Man U is not necessarily finding the right coach, because we went through enough coaches, high and low, to know that the problem is the owners. And in terms of whether they allow the coaches to trial and error the squad if to play.
I want to disagree. Here where I want to disagrey. Let's go back chronologically. After Sir Alex Ferguson, we had the chosen one, which was Moyes. Right. I agree with the choice of Moyes. I thought he really fitted the Manchester United at the point in time. But look at what Moyes has done since then to now. Nothing. Let me see what Richard's saying. Reem, I told you the Glazers not studying United. Their priority is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're probably right, Richard, there, but we've had a conversation. After Moyes, we had Van Gaal. What has Van Gaal done after he left Manchester United? Nothing. Then we had Mourinho. Mourinho is a tainted goods now, because even before we got him, he had a terrible stint at Chelsea. Then he went he came to us. Where he went after? He went to Spurs. Mourinho is damaged goods. Sorry. And then we had another thing with Giggs, and now we have Solskjaer. Solskjaer was with Derby, you know. So sometimes we had to ask yourself a question. Cardiff. No, he was at Derby too.
Okay.
No, he wasn't that big.
Yeah.
Nah.
But
But
Cardiff,
but-
sorry. Yeah, you're right, Cardiff.
Yeah.
And more point being is this. We say that these coaches ain't getting back in and rah. What have these coaches done since they leave Manchester United? Not to say, well, boy, you can say, well, they come here, didn't get your support, and then they went somewhere and was successful. I'm sorry, but these guys.
I think even before Pep would have gone to Man City, he would have been touted to come to Manchester United, and everybody knew that, right? And I think one of the main reasons he didn't see Manchester United as let me say an opportunity for him is because he knew, or he maybe did not feel that the board would have backed him to make Manchester United the best team in the world. So he would have went. No, it's true. So he would have went where he knew that he had the backing to make his team or build that team in his image. Because he would have gone to United and they say, well, here, what this team now win the league, right? This team now win. This team now win the league. Why it is you need so and so and so. So you know what I mean. So remember, these coaches has agents also, and the agents has liaised with other agents, and they would have known the internal runnings of a club even before they even tap them up to say, well, here, what would you like to manage Manchester United? So even then, because let me say Pep leaving Germany, Bayern Munich, right? He would have coached the best team in, let me say, Spain. He would have coached the best team in Germany. You telling me he would not want to coach the best team in England? Yes, but at some point it would have been that he would not. He would have already destined to be a failure when he looked at maybe the backings and other coaches and what feedback from other agents. He would have said, "Well, I'm going there to fail." You know, so I guess that's why he will choose somewhere else.
And the thing about it too, Callum, you know, tell me right now, which if because, and I think Gregory Burris had said it here, and Gregory, thanks for your comment. He's saying Van Gaal said he was planning to retire after United. He was preparing the team for gigs, right? Now I don't know outside of Van Gaal, then Mourinho, which manager out there, apart from probably Pep, and I don't even know if Pep could squeeze our owner's hand. Which manager do we have out there that could actually come into our club and get our board to support him? And when I say support him, I'm talking about just like how, I don't know if it's you or Nico had mentioned, through the trial and error process, where just like Bissaka for me, I mean, I don't want to be premature with Bissaka, but if it was Pep would have said, well, hey, give me Bissaka, but then we see what we're going with Bissaka now. Well, here we're going on now. Bissaka ain't working for what I want. Give me a next 60 million to buy next right back. You feel a next manager could come and tell the Glazers that? And that's the problem I think Man United facing right now with trying to build a team that competitive is either you have one shot at this thing. If I give you money to buy a right back, make sure and get the right back. Because we're not getting no money again.
In the same vein, here what I'm saying that. That's why I say we need the right coach with the right personality, because it have big personalities out there. And I'm saying if Pepper Club come there, they mightn't get as much as they want, but I feel they get more than Ole. Right now, I think I know disrespect him, man. I think Ole starts sucking him. I get him Manchester United work. Maybe myself, right? And no, we were aggressive coach now. Just Mourinho aggression is a different kind of aggression to Mourinho annoying. But I mean, big personalities, there's getting to be done. So we need a big personality, because what you think the other owners don't watch money too? I mean, besides Man City, I think Man City throw money at the football, but the other clubs,
Chelsea
they look at money too.
Them trade money.
So,
honestly, I think even if you listen to other coaches, right? As let me say Pep, right? Pep would say outright he need players.
Sorry, guys.
Right? Yeah. He would say he need players. But Oli wouldn't say that. Oli wouldn't say that because for some reason he don't wanna get the upstairs upset.
Nah, Nico, no.
Oli just butter up everything. Oli just butter up everything.
You can't tell me because Oli don't go in a press conference and say he need players with a straight face and talk loud, that he not talking to these guys behind the scenes. Oli don't know that. You telling me throughout this whole process, Oli and sit down with Edward Wood or whoever, or Matt Judge or whoever, and say, Oli, I need players. And the club just decided not to.
And when he don't get it, what that means? And he still and smile,
But,
right?
but the thing about it,
Then
you had to
he just taking
carry on
games.
and work. You had to carry on and work. What you want to do? Rant and rave like Jose Mourinho? It's only you realize it's only after Van Gaal left that Van Gaal started to talk and speak out. Did we know that Van Gaal didn't get his first and second choice while he was the manager? It's only after Van Gaal left we
At
heard
least we
that.
can see that. At least we can see that.
But the point is, we can't go
I
and
understand
say
what you're saying. I understand
that
what you're saying.
Oli, you know, I believe Oli, let's talk to these guys and let him know what he wants. But my opinion is, as we saw with Pep and with even Chelsea, they're willing to spend freely and give the managers the opportunity to be the best club in the world. Right now, I don't think that's what Oli have in his owners to support him. Before you go ahead, Callum, let me just get some comments in, right? I think Gregory just saying is Lampard who was at Derby, Callum.
Yeah, Lampard was at Derby.
Right. Pep had already signed with Bayern at the time too. I think that's before we went in film. Nicholas saying, and we agree again, way boy Fire Marshal, all those managers we spoke about was not backed past the success they were able to scrape. All right. Hold your thought. Yeah. Richard saying if they want to sack Ole, I feel the best one to go for is Poch.
Nah.
Simeon saying we like Ole, we like Solskjaer, but he needs to grow some stones. Man up to the board. Man up to the achieving star players. Play the football that can carry out your vision. Gary saying shows the mountain Sir Alex Ferguson moved. Dealing with the board.
When you talk about the great man, I take off my hat.
Nicholas saying if they couldn't support Sir Alex Ferguson, there's none that can squeeze them. I fully agree with that.
What you saying there? What you saying there?
No, we'll get to that.
Nicholas said walking on dangerous ground and I ready to fight you.
Gregory saying Oli is calling the Glazers bluff, but he's doing it in low-key. And I saying that behind the scenes, they don't know what's going on. Right? You can't take everything Oli says literal. And you know, we were always talking about Oli being, you know, the baby face assassin, but you don't know what's going on in the dressing room. Same way, I think Oli's standing the ground. You have to word your statements carefully. Richard saying, remember Chelsea can't get noticed in the league, so they try to get noticed in the transfer window. Gregory said there are certain things you can't say outright. And finally, Junior the Arsenal man saying Ole the yes man. Arteta evolution. All right, Callum, go ahead.
But to be fair to Oli, you kind of you see he has a ruthless side in him, because you would have seen it with Lingard and Pereira. You know what I mean? He would have tried to get the best out of them, you know what I mean, knowing that they weren't good enough, but he didn't outright bash them, you know, but the moment that he got the players that he wanted, they were out of the team. You know, so you're seeing Oli has a ruthless side of him. If he is that way with the owners, if it is that he's, as Callum would say, starstruck and just glad that he's coaching United, you know, I would take anything that they throw at him, you know, and say, well, boy, I go turn this stone into bread, you know, this kind of thing. Well, you know, it's possible. But also he had a ruthless streak and having some real difficult conversations or real, you know, conversation with the owners that he need what he needs, and he's holding on until he gets it.
Oli was caught telling his assistant he needs another centre back during the last game. No centre back yet.
No, I want to agree with everybody and saying Oli in a real tough spot there. But at the end of the day, I keep saying we guessing. So I talking about what I sure about. I sure we need other players, and I sure the manager and whoever doing the negotiation can't get the players that we wanted. Either they don't want to spend the money, or we can't get to negotiation. But the point being, they're not getting the job done. And if you are there to do a job, whatever what we're looking for here, things that stalling your job, stopping your barriers you have. Point being, a lot of people was in the same position, they got it done. So then you're not the right man for your job. Now, as I say, I love Oli. And you're probably right. Or you probably get licks from the board, but we need to get somebody in there who could get the board to do what we need to do, or else we're gonna stay like this for who else?
Who
I
won that?
would have gone for Diego Simone. Yeah, do what he want to fight him literally.
That's a lot of football. We don't want that. That too defensive for what we want to see, Callum.
Well, all you want to see, I want to see results. And with Diego Simone, what Diego Simone does do, he builds strong company back in the midfield, and if he have quality in front, he allows that quality in front to flourish.
But we want a balance. We want a balance. You know what I mean? We don't want. There's a Mourinho road. He has a more efficient Mourinho road. Because he doesn't for one goal, as that one goal score, game done for him. And
yes, I don't think Mourinho, all the was simple enough. Mourinho was in Chelsea. I want to when Chelsea is all over. All how Mata and Matic playing pause. I never loved them because they wore the stinking blue. You know, yes, I said to Dave, once they wear the stinking blue, I can't love you. I like Matic. I like Mata. I'll never love them. The tainted.
Let me ask you something, Callum. Do you and Nicholas, you could weigh in on this if you want as well. And guys, feel free to comment on it. Do you all think if Oli get the backing of the club to get the players that he wants, that he will get us competing again and playing the kind of football that we want to see? And probably, I don't want to go as far as saying winning titles, but up there and competing neck and neck for titles.
But Reem, what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, you know. What is the point? If you can't get my team to win the titles, I don't want to hear the thing else short of that, you know.
No, but the situation is only not getting the backing from the board, and we're talking about different managers coming in to convince the board to do what managers who went before couldn't do. So I'm asking you all, if
that's a very quick one.
The players will
quick one. We have a consider that is the reason why they brought in Oli as opposed to a big name, because they brought in some big names, and Van Gaal and Mourinho spoke up publicly about the lack of backing from the board and said they can't do nothing what they have now. They consider brought Oli as a guy who don't know would have been starved and would have wanted the job, and because of his personality and his history in Manchester United, that he'd have been a quote unquote a yes man. You ever consider that?
I ain't saying no, but that's beside the point. The point is we're talking about managers being backed, right? So the question I'm asking is, if Oli gets backed, whether he's a yes man or a no man or whatever, if Oli gets backed, how the manager's supposed to back a manager, the owner, supposed to back a manager, like we've seen happen with Pep, we've seen happen with Klopp, Mourinho, so forth and so on at Chelsea, that is. If Oli gets backed, will we see the team playing how we would like it to play and challenge?
All right, Reeds, I want one answer to that is I want to answer to that, right? Do you think that Oli wants Sancho?
Yes.
If Oli gets Sancho, can you see the team improving?
No.
Yes.
So, and if he don't get Sancho, then that means the board didn't back him, right?
Correct.
Right. So that's the answer. Right. So if Oli get the transfers that he wants, then you could definitely see the teams improving.
So then my point there, Callum, is the issue may not necessarily be changing the manager. I'm a point, you know.
I hear you. But I have a question though. Rim and Nico, when Sancho come, where you gonna play?
A room to play though.
Watch man.
I am asking where you gonna play. You gonna replace, like that will be most likely gonna replace Greenwood, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And if Sancho was in the game today, would you have been having the same problems we had today?
But you see, it had different dynamics, because let me say Marshall didn't have his best game today. Marshall didn't have his best game today. Right?
Do you think
so maybe there's a possibility that Greenwood could end up in the center forward, right? And maybe Marshall could have come off. So at least you have the dynamic to work with.
No, my question is this. Our issue was we wasn't getting coverage going back, right? That's the main issue. Because that's why Bruno was doing what he was doing. And I'm believing that the idea is that when we transition from attack to defense, that Ole asks these guys, listen, you have to track back in. You think Sancho will track back and cover that space today?
Well, I hope so.
He will learn.
I've
He will
never
learn.
seen that happen.
It's a different demand. It's a different demand. You know, different managers and different teams make different demands on players. So I think coming into Man United, the demand on Sancho to do certain different things, than what he doing at Dortmund. Well, and he had a conform, and I think he has the ability.
When we play with quote unquote lower teams, we need to change the formation and play 4-4-2. Play with two direct wingers that have real defensive responsibilities. When we play the bigger teams, we'll play our 4-2-1-3. But when we play these small quote unquote smaller teams, where the position will be equal or we dominate it, we need to flatten out a little bit and let our wingers hold back. And this game for James to come in, because he's more a winger, he's giving some defensive work. And you could even bring in like a Fosu-Mensah and push Wan-Bissaka into the midfield as a winger, because he does that work, and we will have a defensive method with two of them there. It sounds funny, but think about it. Fosu-Mensah and Wan-Bissaka are wing. Nobody going down there and winner. Sure about that. And the crossing would.
I'm a custom max over that.
All right, guys. Let me get this one is for Callum and Nico. Right? Get on. Thanks for joining. He said, do you think Oli could make better decisions with the starting lineups, subs and tactics, etc.?
Yes, I just spoke about it. I just thought the idea, but the point being, we are clear as day now at our present system, where it works 9 out of 10 times, I have to admit it, but the system doesn't have any flexibility. Where when we meet teams that are willing to hold back and hit us and are doing good transition from defense to attack, we are being found wanting. It happened with Crystal Palace with Zaha and Ayu. They did well on the transition and
Schlupp.
Exactly. And they were willing to take on our wing back and take on our stoppers. And happened today again where we have players, well, everybody looking for Shaw. Everybody looking for Lindelof now. The league looking for two of them. So we need to find a way to either get better players or protect them. As simple as that. So we need to have some structural flexibility. We don't have any structural flexibility. No, that's not a guess. That is clear as day. Anytime we play a team are going to share position with us or we're going to dominate possession, unless we could really pin them back and play a high press game and keep them up the road. Later, Nicholas, you know, we're going to have a problem. Simple as that.
Nico, what do you think?
I just want to touch on the Rashford goal today before we go.
All right.
I think it was
I'm gonna get one thing, and we'll talk about the Rashford, and then we'll get to this point, right? Junior saying, so guys, honestly, who would be your ideal players to bring in, or using the same team? What system would you use? I think Callum had mentioned. Go ahead, Nico.
Yeah, you want to talk on the point or
your point?
Right. I just want to touch on the goal today from Rashford. I think was a splendid one. I mean, the IQ and the pass from Bruno alone, I think that was quality. Yeah. You know, not everybody could see that pass like how Bruno saw that pass. I don't think Pogba maybe have it, but Pogba not executing for some reason. So I think the execution of the pass was perfect. I think for some reason, I think maybe the goal during the week for Rashford would have helped settle him down, because I think the composure for that goal was similar to I think it was Crystal Palace last season when he cut back and he had the man going across and he just placed it nicely. I think that goal during the week would have helped him. I think was a perfect, well executed goal. You know, from start to finish, you know, the composure, the finish, and I think definitely that was my goal for the day.
We scored 3 goals today. 2 was on set plays, and 2 of them was from Maguire. What we need to look at is we scored 1 goal from open play, and the goal wasn't the right.
For that recently.
Sorry?
So we're struggling to do that of recent.
Because as far as I'm concerned, all we are depending on is a quick counter attack, where we depend on our attacking trio, speed and individual ability, which is becoming a problem. We're going to be found out with that, but we still hats off to Rashford. to answer the question of the person before, what players and what system to go with, as I said before, when we play any teams that are going to dominate on the possession, we can use the same system and the same approach is better, because remember when we have teams like Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, who don't dominate us and press us down the field, their defensive setup going to be at the tin and one long ball out the back into the front, that attacking tree, no problem with that tactic, perfect tactic. But we need to flatten out the team, or we playing teams with we're going to sit in the low block, 4 and 5, our 5 defenders, 4 midfielders in front of us, and put counter. If we don't put more players into our immediate midfield, because our immediate midfield is 3 players, and 2 attacking, 1 defensive midfielder, we're going to have problems. The players I would bring in right now, like yesterday, I would go to Lizep and prize that stopper out of there, or get some of that world-class stopper. No, Mr. Commissioner Thiago, don't do me that. I can take Kante. But I don't think we have a defensive midfielder problem between Matic, McTominay, and God help me, Fred. We can hold on with them. What the next player I would get, definitely, I would get a world-class winger. We are struggling on the right hand side.
Sancho.
No, maybe not Sancho, but I'm still, and definitely for my money, I'm sure about this. We need a striker, a 20+ goal a season striker. I have no problem with Rashford. I have no problem with cousin Marshall, of course, my family. But look at our great teams that won anything. We had attacking duos, and every time we won a league, 1 or 2 of our attacking duo scored 20+. Every single team that wins the league, one of their strikers scores 20+. It's only this year Liverpool didn't win the league, and they both strikers finished at 19. And the only reason the league was won so long in advance that those fellas took the foot off the gas, so to speak, Mane and Salah. But every year, outside this year, a team that wins the league, you need a striker that scores 20+ goals. So we need a outstanding striker, world-class striker. We need a stopper or a left back. I'm sorry, sure. Don't do me that. Sure, got to go. Forget
Everybody that right back too.
I didn't want Wan-Bissaka still, because I think if Wan-Bissaka gets support, he's good.
Wan-Bissaka real shaky, boy. Jeez. Guys.
Too lazy of you gotta step up.
Nico, you know, I was telling you about that lethargy that Bissaka, that kind of language pilot Bissaka. All right, guys. So we come into the end of the review, and I know we have 2 referees on the inside, Nico and Fire Marshal, right? Now we spoke about it in part last week, and I realizing it becoming a real issue. And I don't know all your views. I mean, without laboring it, this handball thing earlier, this thing getting ridiculous. Because I was listening to some commentary as well from some pundits. Now, we know sometimes the pundits is not the best people to really take analyses from. But sometimes when they consider the points that they're making as ex-pros, I want to think that it should have some kind of review to the law, this handball law, because it could cause chaos. We see in situations where, natural positions being penalized. We saw it with Lindelof last week. And I know we went through the law and you all, brought some clarity. But even today, with the game when Everton played Crystal Palace, and I am telling you, we will see so many penalties given this season if they don't try to clarify this handball law. And I think it's very, very harsh. If a player's hands in an unnatural position, like the penalty we got today, I could accept that. But when a man in a natural position and penalties given for that, I find it rough. It's real rough. And I mean, I don't know what I know all your opinion might be the law is the law, but let me get some reason with it now. What I think.
I think we gotta live with it, Reams. I think we gotta live with it, because at the end of the day is something that's the referee's interpretation. And if you really check with VAR, wherever the TV referee say, most of the time that's what the on-field referee does go with. So if the TV referee, his interpretation is here what, this man hand coming forward instead of going back, you know what I mean? In his interpretation, then that is something we definitely will have to live with. Because I don't know how it could really be clarified more than it is now. You know, if the ball to hand, right, or hand to ball now. So it's really to me up to the referee's interpretation.
But the thing about it, Nico, is that now what you realize is that if the VAR referee, what they're doing now is they're saying, well, hey, here we're going on. You go and take a look at it.
Right?
So
every time the referee go and watch that screen, the decision has changed. Every single time.
I am.
I haven't seen a referee go onto the screen and stop this decision. You know? Uh-huh.
I want to say the Lindelof one last week, that was penalty because the reason why the ball was going to goal and his hand deviated the ball and took off pace of the ball. So even though you could say he was striding towards goal, the point being the hand stopped the ball from going to goal. So I accept that penalty. The one to deal with Everton, oh my word, that was a highway robbery. I think that one was tantamount to criminal because what as Reem was, not Reem, sorry, Nicholas alluding to. What happened there is this: the referee didn't give the penalty because as Nicholas will understand, we as a referee, there's a rule Ramdan, former FIFA referee said to us what I always remember. He said when you decide to give a penalty, when there's doubt, there's no doubt. So you must be sure. By the time you see the incident, your mind must say penalty. And then when you think about it, there is not a penalty. Because then you're trying to go to your opinion and so you say because at the end of the day, penalties are a game-changing moment, it's a game-changing event. So if you don't make that game-changing event come like the law must be beyond a shadow of a doubt. And what Reem's saying, I keep saying Reem, sorry. What Nicholas saying is that he noticed that the guys who are in the VAR are changing the minds of the referees on field. Now we have to also understand pressure. Because the most of the people that put in VAR is senior referees, so who are assessors, and so sometimes the referees feel like they're under a bit of pressure. Because when they call you and say, hey, we see so, take a look at that. These are senior people to yourself. This is human nature too, that they're saying, well, boy, the big boy says, it comes just like us if we were refereed. And we had one of our senior colleagues, like a Ramdan or Mushtaq, one of them players come and tell us, hey, go and check that day. You're under pressure. So, but so far, I must admit, I like the new style where the referees is going to check the monitor, so it's their decision. And out of the most, I think 95% of the time, I would actually agree that they made the right one. It's only today I have to admit what you said there, Reem, that the Everton one, that was wrong. I'm sorry. No way.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for the clarity. I mean, I telling you earlier, I watching this and I can see you're gonna have plenty more controversy as far as
you got plenty.
Because I think anyway. So I guess, guys, that brings us to the end of the review today. As we all said,
Brighton again coming up this week.
Yeah, Brighton on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So let's hope that as the games come, that the sharpness and the fitness, comes, and that we kind of see some form of the Man United that we saw in the back end of last season post-COVID, because that's what we kind of really we're stretching and we're hoping for that team to show up. Also, we have 10 more days, guys, for the Glazers to support the manager. We will be talking about that. We hope we could talk in the positive sense. Yeah, in positive terms, and talk about.
If they buy Sancho, what are you gonna do? He gonna help the team?
I don't know. I'm not talking about Sancho alone. Who knows? Probably we could get centre back, we could get left back, because we need at least those and a striker.
Listen, if the Glazers call me, I could organize for Marcus Joseph and Andre Etienne to go there. I will get results.
Honestly, we might see something happen in the next 10 days, and we might see some surprise additions.
Well, we hope they could pull some rabbit out of hat for Nico, because you telling me you waste so much weeks to come in the last days, and you're risking gelling. What going on there? Coach man on the board.
What Van Bissaka? And watch. The boy no recovering here, see? That was going on. Who was I thought you just gave me the
I like it.
And what look Fred warming up. This Fred, right? What?
Caps too. Are we talking about, man? Anyway, guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for the comments, thanks for the likes. As per usual, go across on YouTube and subscribe and like those as well. and we'll be here again on Wednesday to review, our Carabao Cup clash against Brighton, Hove and Albion. Hopefully, we'll be talking in the positive again. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Hi, guys.